While Acer isn't currently as competitive in the high end of the gaming laptop market, I suspect that will change in the near future. They do have some solid value-oriented options available through their Nitro lineup of laptops. The Intel-powered configuration is packed with up to a 12th Gen Intel Core i7 GPU and up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 Ti GPU. It also comes with up to 32 gigs of DDR4 3200 RAM. Its QHD 165Hz display features a 3ms response time, delivering fluid, smooth-sailing gameplay. In terms of storage, the Intel and AMD variants come with two M.2 PCIe Gen 4 SSD slots. Both have been redesigned outwardly and internally. Users can tap into the NitroSense utility app to manage the dual-fan cooling system as well as the CPU and GPU settings. The app also lets users customize the keyboard's 4-zone lighting. 4 Nitro 5 configurations hit the market in 2022, 15.6-inch models with AMD and Intel, as well as 17.3-inch models with the same CPU options. The configuration that will arrive first is the 15.6-inch Intel model. It's poised to hit store shelves in March with a starting price of $1,050. As is typically the case, the processor you select will impact the port selection on the laptop. The Intel-based laptop includes a Thunderbolt 4, as well as an HDMI 2.1 port, 3 USB-A ports, a power plug, an Ethernet jack, and a headphone jack. The AMD-based model keeps all of that but exchanges the Thunderbolt 4 port for a USB 4 Type-C port and Thunderbolt 3. On the outside, the Nitro 5s are quite a breath of fresh air compared to the aging looks of the 2021 models. Plastic is still used for the construction as far as I can tell, but with a cleaner black theme, a redesigned lid, and none of the red accents of the past. The main chassis has also been updated with a boxy shape and blunted and friendlier lips, and some of the connectors have been pushed onto the rear side of these laptops, away from the user. Jumping back a moment, a major win for the Acer Nitro 5 is its keyboard. There's nothing overtly special about it. Sure, the symbols are in red, the backlight, which, by the way, is only activated when plugged in. So the keys are hard to see in the dark when it's not, is red, and the W at SD keys are emboldened in red paint. The keyboard seems to have been pushed slightly down onto the chassis in order to accommodate the extra air intakes at the top. However, the inputs carried on from the previous generations with a full-size layout with a numpad section and either red or 4-zone RGB backlighting on both the 15 and 17-inch sizes. The clickpad is still aligned towards the left of the chassis, under the space key, as it's most likely still made out of plastic and the same size as before. Overall, this is just your typical middle-of-the-road keyboard. That said, we find it comfortable as well as quite reliable. It's fast and responsive, and we haven't experienced any lags, mispresses, or accidental presses. Whether you're typing or gaming, that's all that matters. These three things we're lukewarm about. The camera, which offers video recording at 720p 30 FPS at its highest setting, is grainy. It's just fine for web chats, but don't expect much quality imagery produced here. The laptop sound is a little hyped on the high end and very echoey, though you could personalize it with the equalizer in the Dolby Audio software. In short, it's yet another laptop with subpar audio. Finally, the 1080p display, while still sharp and clear, is a little on the darker side, even at its brightest setting, and is practically the exact opposite of bezel-free. We've seen other gaming laptops at this price put a little more focus on the display, which we'd like to see here. Perhaps one of the best things about the Acer Nitro 5 is its dual fan ventilation and cooling system, the vents of which are located in the rear part of the laptop. It's loud, but not as loud as many gaming laptops. Better yet, it is customizable to an extent, with Acer's NitroSense software that you can use to adjust fan speeds for both CPU and GPU. You can also use it to activate Cool Boost, which increases the fan's max speeds for heavy usage. Surprisingly, the Acer Nitro 5's battery life is better than you'd expect from a budget gaming laptop. Gaming laptops in general are notorious for their bad battery life, and we are not surprised that this guy only had 3 hours and 20 minutes worth of juice when we ran our Guardians of the Galaxy battery test at 50% brightness. Though it is worth mentioning that the more expensive and much better performing Asus Strix Scar Edition only reached 2 hours and 15 minutes. There are, of course, many things to consider here. The Strix Scar Edition had a more demanding CPU and GPU combo, among other things, and the model we tested had a 7th generation Intel Core processor, while the Nitro 5 has an 8th generation, which is better at energy consumption because it draws less power. The 15.6-inch Nitro 5 with Intel processors will begin shipping to the US in March with a starting price of $1,049, while the 17.3-inch version will ship in April, starting at $1,100. If you want the AMD version, that model will ship to the US in April, starting at $1,100 going up to $1,149 for the 17.3-inch version that will begin shipping in May 2022. These are really great prices, and I'm excited to see what these laptops are capable of.